to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, a.k.a. Tony. Here with some of my nearest and dearest and co-hosts in the building. Got my dog DJ Doey Fresh on the ones and twos.
What's up? What's up?
Not much, big dog. See, we hat gangs out here today.
We sporting the New York today.
We sporting NYC today.
Got
also in the building, the Texas one without a gun, Mateo. How you doing, big dog?
I liked your other hat more, dude.
Yeah, I bet you did. It wouldn't have worked well
Was that
with the
other hat
headphones.
cultural appropriation, though? Did they give you sombrero vibes?
This hat?
It's a little sombrero-esque.
I think
But
that's
it's more like dad that's outside like mowing the lawn vibe. Oh my god.
Does it have the
crazy.
fucking thing? Does it
I'm
have
a
the
rocker. I'm a
thing?
rocker for a little bit.
You look like a dick.
I don't like a dick. It's not
But
appropriate.
does it have the thing to tie around your neck?
He looks like
Yeah,
Burt
yeah.
Reynolds when he finds that big hat backstage during the Jeopardy.
Also in the
Kurt
building,
Ferguson.
I'm not familiar with that reference. Burt Reynolds playing Jeopardy.
It's Celebrity Jeopardy from Saturday Night Live.
Nah.
Never seen it.
Also in the building, the bald one, the great one, Pucho.
Slightly less bald, okay, because I shaved yesterday morning. Just want the people to know. If it doesn't have its normal sheen, don't blame it on me. Blame it on others, okay?
What would you call the grit rating of your head right now?
Oh, even when I'm completely shaved, it's always grit. Listen to that. I don't know if that's going to come
Yeah,
through.
it's coming through.
It'll come through on the actual recording, I promise. You're not hearing it on Discord, man.
He's gonna have to boost the levels on that part just on.
There's grit, all right?
Nah, that's crazy. Nigga, if you just shaved your head, you shouldn't have any grit until like maybe 2 or 3 days later, to be honest.
Because you've never shaved your head, but go off.
But I've shaved my face. I got a little bit of grit. Don't be hating on me.
You think the hairs on your face are rougher than the hairs on your head?
Yeah,
No.
I would agree.
You would agree.
He's agreeing with
me?
himself.
I would agree.
Dude, I got a question for you, man.
What's up?
Actually, a favor.
Oh.
Your boy needs some teas.
Oh, come on. I'll get you the number. I have his number. I'll send it to you.
Oh, you're gonna give me direct source now?
You can get him. He'll send it to you.
Ladies and
We'll get
gentlemen,
this-
if you don't remember,
We'll get this worked out.
what was it, last year or so? I asked
You
Doe-
went through all those shirts I got you?
almost. I got the colors left. I want some fresh blacks. You know what I mean? I got a bunch of colors left, but just the
I
blacks.
would say for the podcast, wear some color t-shirts, bro. I'm sick and tired of these black tees all the time, every episode.
I got to keep up with the people.
I'm a black tea gang member.
I like black
okay?
tees.
I
I'm
like
a
black
big
tees
dude.
now.
Black tees make me look a little slimmer. That looks good for the camera. I'm on my what's the guy from Apple who died? Man, he rest in
Steve
peace.
Jobs.
I'm on my Steve Jobs shit. I just don't got the turtleneck.
You don't even got a neck. If you
That's
put
my
on a
point. I don't
turtleneck,
need
you
that
get
shit.
choked
Nigga, you
out.
don't got a neck. Fuck
There's
out of
something
here.
about a nice white V-neck, fresh for me that just like it'll set off any. It's a trendsetter. I just like it.
I like how
Where's
this
your neck,
motherfucker
Tony?
was just going like this. Nigga,
Nigga,
my
this kid.
beard covers my neck, nigga. I
Word.
can't do nothing. My shit is
Can't
legit.
do anything about his neck.
Yo, I've seen this thing on TikTok. It's to like make your teeth white. It's called His Smile. Have you guys seen that shit?
You gotta
No,
bite
on
down
TikTok.
on it and it has like
Nah.
the UV shit.
Nah, it's just it's like paste, purple paste on a toothbrush, like toothpaste. And you brush your teeth. They get one brush and your teeth will automatically be 50% whiter than what it is.
It's TikTok, bro. I do not believe that.
That sounds like a lie. Remember when those things were going around where people would put in like a gel on
And
their
they get the
face and
blackheads.
all the blackheads would just pop out? That shit was fake.
Yeah, that was
It's like
definitely
that. It's
fake.
full of shit.
I might try it. I like white
No,
teeth.
try it. It's just not going to be 50% brighter. And one brushing, it'll just put the whole dentistry out of business. It'll be like, all right, all they do now is just, I mean, they do quite a bit. All right, the
You guys-
hygienists, the cavities, the cleanings.
You haven't seen the UV light one where you bite down on it and
Those
it's like
are
a
fakes.
UV light on your teeth?
Shit,
I've seen those.
No,
I
that
think
shit
those are
works.
real. That's what
That
they
shit
do at the
works.
dentist. They do
I
a
think
UV
that-
treatment.
Yeah, that one's legit for sure.
Yeah.
That's about as the same as people bleaching their assholes and shit. Shit don't work, bro.
Yeah,
It
you don't want to
literally works. You could bleach your asshole, Tony. What do you mean?
Well,
Yo,
you don't-
what about
You don't
the
want
people?
to bleach your asshole though. What you want to do is you want to sun your asshole. You want to get the nice tan on your butthole is what you want.
So who's gonna
You
spread
have to
your
get up
cheeks
on
while
your-
you're
you have
outside?
to-
I think no. I think you need to bleach your asshole and then tan your asshole.
Oh, you want it clean. A clean.
It's just that everybody in those crevices, the skin gets dark. I don't know about you white people, okay? But for us, people that got a little melanin in our skin, if you go to the corners, it's jet black in them corners, right? I'm talking about the elbows, the booty holes, you know? So you got to bleach it, even the complexion out. And then we don't need to tan it. But, you know, some of y'all tan that shit. Then you know, get the tan.
So
out.
how
But
you gonna tan your
too.
asshole?
You don't go too far. You don't go Sammy Sosa. You got to do a little. Or
Yeah, Sammy Sosa went so far, he got green eyes. You saw that
He
shit?
turned into a fucking vampire, bro.
Sammy Sosa went. I was gonna say Sammy Sosa went so far that he's allergic to garlic now. He can't look at the cross. He doesn't see the reflection in the mirror.
He don't go out in the sun, bro. He hasn't been outside in the sun in like 15 years.
Yeah, have any of y'all seen Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Nah, never.
Recently,
This
no.
guy's on some wild boy shit these past 5 to 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with him, bro. I don't know if he's always been this crazy. He has sexual allegations thrown against him, all sorts. And it all really came towards the end of his career now. But there was a video floating around Twitter of him pulling up to the club. And he's like, you see me? You see this? You heard about the action movie? I did that. And then he walked in, and it was just really weird energy. I was like, yo, this is weird.
What movie is he talking about?
I have no idea.
I don't follow that bum at all. You be following weird people.
It's not
A
it's not
bum?
weird thing. I'm
That
very
bum.
in tune with Black Twitter. So like anything, if it ever circles through Black Twitter, I'm like listening to it, hearing about it.
Yeah, you just called Cuba Gooding Jr. a bum?
Yeah, he's not a very good actor to me.
All right,
That's a hot take.
watched? So I'm gonna take you not playing video games is like you not watching movies either.
Please, though. I play more games than you.
Tony
and I
only
watch
does
way more
8-leg
movies than you.
parlays. That's all.
Do you- what-
He
so
gambles
what-
and watches football.
What movie does Cuba Gooding Jr.
The only
start
good movie he's got-
swinging in the air?
The only
Just
good,
start swinging.
the only good
What
movie
movie
he's
is that?
got is Radio.
Oh
Oh my god.
Yo, Tony, I'm sorry, bro, but you have. And I remember
I'll
he got
correct
this
myself.
from
I'll
Lake Worth
correct
Middle.
myself. Also, I think it's
He's now
the-
looking at IMDb, folks.
the Man of
All
Honor.
right. Why are you looking at IMDb?
I'm not looking at anything.
No, this is from middle school. Because
middle school.
once, dude, it was so horrible. Once they showed us that movie,
What movie?
we all picked a radio for the day. Every day, somebody was radio
I don't know what you're talking
at
about.
school. After radio came out, bro, that's how you would try somebody. Radio, look, it's radio.
I don't remember. I don't recall any of
That's
this
so deep.
bullshit.
But yeah,
Man
Men of Honor or Man of Honor, Fire.
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 The
That's
Navy
a
shit.
fire one. Yep.
Pearl Harbor.
Jerry Maguire. Don't say Pearl Harbor.
Wait, is Pearl? He's in Pearl Harbor, right?
Yeah, he gets on the gun. Nah,
Yeah,
it's just
that
not a
shit
good
is
movie.
not a good
fire,
movie,
bro.
bro.
It's a good movie. Nah,
Snow Dogs.
How do you not say Boys in the Hood, Tony?
That's the one that I was trying to.
That was pre-Hollywood. That's when he was
This,
still with the
this
people.
list I'm looking at says he was in Coming to America. Does anyone remember Cuba Gooding Jr. in Coming to America?
Yeah, he's sitting in the barbershop getting his haircut. He's just like this.
See?
And the
Terrible.
guy's snipping like around his little fro, but he ain't cutting nothing. He's just like looking around. He's like, yeah, he's just an extra in there. But I always remember that. He's just smiling.
Some would even say Steven Seagal is a better actor than Cuba Gooding Jr.
I don't think
come
anyone
on, bro.
would say that.
This is like now you're just trying to be obnoxious.
So how do you guys like the new room? All right, I moved
like
where my recording setup was.
I like it.
I like the accent colors, the blue, a little bit of beige.
What is that
Little
back
baby.
there? Is it like a chalkboard? You got like a vision board back there or something?
No, that's a bed.
No, I'm talking about the other thing in the corner.
He's talking about the back of the mirror that he made me flip over.
Oh,
All right.
It's a mirror.
You could see a slight. I'm talking about like that much monitor in the and Joey was like, I can't stop looking at it. And then Tony was like, I'm not even distracted by the monitor. I'm distracted by his legs. And Joey's like, what legs? And then you just see me in those moves in the mirror. And then he's like, all right. So I had to flip it. Okay, it's not a chalkboard, people. It's a mirror.
It just looked funny because his legs was barely touching the fucking floor. They were just like scraping the top. It was just bothering me.
Tony thinks that Pucho and me live in little tiny versions of houses. We live in little hobbit holes.
It's terrible.
Them shits look fire. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind staying at night in that little hobbit holes. Grass all the way around you.
You ever see Gandalf walking around Bilbo Baggins' house? He's just having a duck under every rafter that he sees walking through.
Yeah, and Gandalf is like a taller dude, but he ain't that tall. He literally looked like a giant in that house. Like, you look at Gandalf, you're like, holy fuck. But you forget you're following the smallest people to ever exist. Like,
that's how I feel.
What I'm impressed by is how they took short people and made them look really fucking short.
With practical effects, too.
Yeah, it was like all like angled shots and things like that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that shit is nutty.
Who are the actors? Jesus
Elijah
Christ.
Wood.
Elijah Wood. And then who's my boy Samwise from Rudy?
I forget his name.
He was in Stranger Things too. It's my dog too, all right?
The goddamn man.
They look mad little in that movie.
Yeah, and Elijah Wood he's a shorter guy, but he's not that short. I actually saw him once at here in Austin during South by Southwest. He was doing a DJ set at this like random like party that I was at for South by Southwest.
Fire.
Didn't get to say hi to him, but I saw him. I saw him on the turntables.
He's 5'6". He's pretty short. But
he's not like crazy short though. He's not like 5 foot or anything like that.
He's not a hobbit. That's for sure.
Nah, but you think that was all angled shit? I honestly thought Gandalf had like some big ass boots on or something. That's what.
Well, in those scenes, he probably had on stilts or something. But I'm saying that like when you look at Elijah Wood standing next to Aragorn, he looks mad fucking little, like half of his height. In real life, they probably got like 5 inches of difference. So it's like they're doing a camera effect to make Frodo look that small.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all seen the image of MODOK floating around from the new movie, the Quantum movie? It looks so bad.
Does it really? Man, I'm disappointed, but I heard that movie was kind of all right. Like,
the whole universe, the quantum bullshit they're doing with Marvel is getting out of hand.
Honestly, I think out of all of the Marvel shit, I think Ant-Man's probably the worst character in a movie. Like his storyline that they're doing.
Tripping.
That
Ant-Man
they're doing.
Fire.
Dude, where they fucked up with Ant-Man is they took our boy out that was our Hispanic representation in the Marvel universe, and apparently he's not in Quantumania at all. What was his character's name? Louis, something like that. The
Guzamo?
You don't. Pardon?
You talking about the actor?
I don't remember.
Pucho's favorite actor, Louis something Guzamo or whatever his name.
John Leguizamo.
First of all, you're talking about Luis
The Pest?
Guzman. All right, that's who you're.
Luis
Tony's
Guzman.
referencing Luis Guzman, but he's saying Leguizamo. That's John Leguizamo.
Luis
the
Guzman
the
from
best Mario character of all time. Okay, don't sleep on my boy Luigi.
Michael
right?
Pena is who I'm talking about, but his character in the movie is Luis.
Luis Guzman.
No, it's not Luis Guzman.
Oh, I know this guy.
I fucks with this guy.
I like him.
He has been a major part of my childhood, and yet I can't name many things that he's in.
Damn.
He might have been in. Was it Crash?
Yes,
he might have been
he was
the
in
dad
Crash.
But like beyond that, I can't name a lot of things he's been a
think
part of.
Might be the locksmith in Crash or something like that. That she was being super racist to him because he changed her locks, and then she called back the next day to change the locks again.
Man, I don't know what movie talking about.
I don't think I've ever seen Crash.
You should watch it. Crash is cool.
It's a
I
good
think
movie.
it won an Oscar for Best Picture. Okay, or it was in the running for one.
It is. There's some triggering ass scenes though. That woman getting fucking violated by the cop. That's hard to watch. And then her husband is standing there watching, and he can't do anything.
That sounds rough.
Yeah.
The
It's
movie's
fucking-
supposed to be triggering.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
Crash is the movie. What is it called? Crash.
Crash.
Just Crash.
Yeah.
So
a lot of-
did I? So I play Fortnite now. Did I tell you all that to bring it to a different topic?
Wow.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Jonah from the Great Game Debate. Apparently, like Fortnite is his game. So now I'm a Fortnite player.
Very
I
nice.
might go back into it just because they took away the building aspect, so now it's just like straight up gun shooting.
That's the only mode he plays. Is that no build mode? And it's all right. It's not my favorite shooter. I'd rather do DMZ or something if I'm going to do a straight up shooter. But Fortnite's not bad. It does feel like a fever dream though when you're in that lobby and fucking Darth Vader is like doing like over there like dabbing, and then like there's an anime character next to you doing a dance, and there's little like words popping out of the air, and then like Geralt of Rivera is like next to you, and like the lobbies are insane. The lobbies make you feel like you're in you're a crazy person and you just like slipped into a coma or something.
Geralt of Rivera is my favorite thing about that. There, I just imagine like a Mexican Geralt. He's Geralt of Rivia.
I was
Rivera. I picture him with a thin, not wispy, just a super thin mustache, looking like Zorro and shit.
He's got that hat he's got the hat that Tony was wearing earlier. Rivia. Where's Rivia?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't read the books or anything. I only played The Witcher 3, so I'm not and I loved it. I played the shit out of it. But
same. I never beat that game either. There's too much shit to do in that game. I got distracted.
Have you guys? There's a game I'm actually interested in playing. It's called The Small Soldiers. I think it's Small Soldiers. It's a game where it's like takes all the Disney movie characters like Buzz, Wood, and puts them into like an online multiplayer shooter, and you're playing in actual movie theme areas like a store or Woody's bedroom.
This is not a like licensed game though.
No, it was. I forgot what it was on. It was on YouTube the other day. See if I can get the name for you guys, but it was a legit game. Like, oh man, what was it called? Toys, some shit.
Wasn't there a movie called Small Soldiers?
Yes, there is a movie called Small Soldiers.
there is.
That's a classic, by the way. Oh no,
It is not a.
You don't consider it a classic?
It's a pretty good movie.
Thank you, though.
And that one guy who died is in it, who's a pretty good actor too.
Who?
The one guy who died. The one guy who died. He's the only guy who's died since that movie came out.
What a piece of shit.
He died in the movie or in real life?
In real life. Let's see, what's his name? Phil Hartman. Really good actor.
Oh, Phil Hartman, yeah.
Yeah, Phil Hartman. It was like one of his last movies. He was really good though, like actor. I remember him doing a lot of good movies. Jingle All the Way, Kiki's Delivery Service, The Simpsons, Saturday Night Live.
Oh, so my bad. It's called Hypercharged Unboxed.
That is so different from Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers.
I think I've got that game.
Is it
Pretty
out?
sure I've got that game. It's all right. I think I picked it up on early access or some shit.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been playing Far Cry 6 with Booch. It's been a pretty good time. It's nice.
Really?
Oh,
Very
wow.
cute. The game doesn't. It says you're from Yara, but I believe through my heritage that this place is Cuba. Just the music, the sounds, the language they're using, and stuff like that, which made me enjoy the game a lot more. There's cockfighting in the game. There's actual there's some real. The game is cool, man.
Do they have to blur it, or do they just like show everything?
No, they show everything. You get the upgrades are the blades for the feet and shit like that. And I was like, yo, that shit is crazy. But I and then there's these cocks you can go find. You can go find cocks
Like
in the wild.
cocks?
I love that I can say cock so many times and it's means something else, but I'm saying the word cock. So yeah, you got to search for cocks in the wild.
Me and Doyle also played dominoes.
Oh, we played dominoes in the game.
That's
What
pretty
was
rad.
that? What was that lady? Ophelia. Yo.
Ophelia.
Ophelia's a beast. That old ass lady. Slamming the shit out of the dominoes. You're like, shit, chill, woman. Like, calm your ass. They
Does it
take
give-
their dominoes seriously in not Cuba, my bad. In
Yara.
Yara.
Does it give you the option to put your tiles down just like slow and then slam them? Like if you got a good hand, or
We were
It's
trying
like
to figure
random.
that out.
Yeah, we're like, is it if you put down like a high total or like we couldn't figure it out, but them shits get slammed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goal of the main character is to make it to Miami. It's like, this is fucking Cuba. Don't fuck with me. Okay?
The way that they curse in that game, I don't give a fuck.
You don't think that's a little
It
disrespectful?
sounds like they watched Scarface and they were like, we need to put these accents in the game. Like, Tony Montana does not have a fucking Cuban accent. Right? Shout out to the two white dudes who played the two main, like the main supporting characters in Scarface, and not Hispanic at all. Just
Really?
regular. Al
the
Pacino's
sisters,
Italian,
Yeah,
The
Al
love
Pacino's definitely
interest?
not.
and I'm pretty sure Manolo's like a fucking Italian guy too. Maybe I could be wrong about that.
Doughboy
I'm gonna
wanted
find
Al
out.
the
Pacino to
sister's
be
love
fucking
interest
Cuban.
that he kills, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manolo.
Don't
Played
spoil
by-
the movie.
Stephen Bauer.
Wow.
There you
Damn.
go.
That don't sound like an Italian name.
Bauer.
He's not Italian.
Oh, I thought you said he was.
Or wait, sorry. I actually don't know if he's Italian or not, but
That's funny.
actually, okay. The dude is Cuban, Dick.
Ah.
Damn.
He did a holy shit. He was born Esteban Ernesto Echevarria Sampson, and he changed his name to Stephen Bauer. So
Yo, a lot of Cubans did that, bro, when they
Yeah.
came from Cuba because they wanted to change their identity, and a lot of them started to identify as white, bro. It's crazy.
Well, I mean,
Really?
even in actors in general, like especially back in the day, they used to change their names to less ethnic sounding names because they give them a foot up in the industry.
Like this guy, but he didn't do it. Not the guy from motherfucking Mighty Ducks. Not
Emilio
him.
Estevez,
All right, not
Charlie
him.
Sheen,
Yeah,
Martin Sheen.
yeah. They, you know what I mean. But not my boy Estevez. He's like, listen, bro, my heritage means a lot to me.
And then he played
I mean,
nothing but white dudes in every movie he ever
yeah,
made.
seriously. But like he took his mother's name. He was still like
Yeah, Emilio Estevez though. That's two Spanish sounding names.
yeah.
I know. If you have
Yeah, but I don't know. Even my parents named like me and my brothers like kind of American names. You know what I mean? We don't got like a super Hispanic, a super Spanish name, and it's like it's a thing. A lot of immigrants do. Like they just want their children to blend into the country that they're arriving to. Otherwise, you're gonna always have to fight. Like, you know, growing up with a name that like, you know, I mean, like my skin color kind of points me out regardless, but still, you know, you don't want any disadvantages, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
That's crazy.
Or
It's not
perceived
like that
disadvantages.
anymore. People name their kids whatever the fuck they want to name them now. It's like, oh, whatever. I'll name them this and name them that. Deacon Northwest, West. Ivy. These are names. Those names is crazy when I first heard them. I'm like, Blue.
Yeah,
Ivy.
that's when you get rich, something about being rich makes you name your kid fucking wacky names.
What is that Twitter idiot's
Yeah.
names? What is the kid's name? It's something dumb,
they didn't
right?
let Elon Musk get away with that.
Oh, did
Yeah.
they not?
Yeah, I don't think they let him. I think they were like, nah, you can't name your kid that shit. It was
What
some
was he
crazy
trying to
shit.
show? Was something crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like something alpha beta or something. So it was some weird fucking shit. Like it was like they were like, nah, you can't name your kid that. I don't think you could say it. Like, hold on, I'm gonna look at the name.
Some weird shit. If you haven't done so, ladies and gentlemen, hit that subscribe button, share the like, the follow. Join us on Discord. We're on all social media platforms. Audio only, video only. I mean, video only. Video and
Yeah,
audio.
only video, no audio.
No audio. All straight fucking captions only. We're out here. Share us. Like us. And to the two dudes still fighting to this day on those comments, shout out to y'all. Y'all still going
Yeah.
hard.
They
I hope
have been.
I hope they argue forever, just into infinity. There's
it
two. There's
seems-
two knowns in this universe. One day there will be the heat death universe, and these guys are going to argue until that happens.
Yeah. It's over 10 days of arguing in a comment section.
Yeah, that shit's
It's
great.
actually unbelievable.
solid though.
Yeah, shout out to all the new subs
Yep.
as well. We're climbing very fast to 500, and I can only see us climbing even quicker to 600. So I thank all of you guys that come here and watch us, and
Big shout out.
you're a part of the fam. I don't even know what to call the 500. You just call it the 500 or something like that. But we need to find a new name quick. All right.
Yo, so VR 2 finally dropped for the PlayStation. A lot of people got them first hands, whatever, they like it or whatever. But you guys think y'all still willing to buy it, or you guys still in the same boat as saying, nah, not worth it, too much?
I want it, but every fucking game looks the same, and then I get so turned off that I'm like, why are they all look the same? They all have that one thing where they point the gun. All of them, anyone that they have the gun, they point it, and then they're like doing mad. Like I like the controller. Controller looks fire. The headset looks fire. Everything surrounding VR looks fire except for the video games, in my opinion. And I'm like, man, why do all these video games look not only the same, but play the same? And I'm like, there's no creativity.
Here's the question for you, Doey, because this is I have the same take, and this is the question I find myself asking. What do you want out of a VR game? Because VR is made for first-person games, and most of the first-person games we play are shooters. What do we want from VR, I guess is the question.
I want a social aspect. I want there to be social aspects. I'd like a dating sim. Personally, I like to see what these dating.
Do you want a sexy VR game?
I want some sexy VR games. All right, I'm a mature man now. I need some hentai in my life.
Yo, Pornhub, make a game for dope. He's out here waiting for you.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think. I think there's too many first-person shooters. I think there's not enough strategy games. I think there should be more third-person games. I think the perspective of first person is cool, but I think it's played out. I would like to see maybe even a racing game or some unique perspective on that.
They showed the Gran Turismo is gonna use the PSVR too.
Yeah.
They did something cool, at least on the original PSVR. With there was the game Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Yes,
it was like, instead of the game being first person,
it's a platformer.
You're like the camera, right? That's you're like looking around this like platformer kind of game, and the controller is a physical thing in the game. You could like put out a fire and using the controller as a watering hose and stuff like that, water hose, and all the while controlling this little robot through like this platform area. The game was like super creative, super slept on, and I feel like more experiences need to be in that realm. I don't mind the number of first-person shooters. What really gets me is like, how many games look like just these rail shooters where you're just like, it's like you're on rails, just like doing like shooting. It's like, I've hated these games since I was a kid playing them in the arcade, and I still don't like them. It's like, why are we making this game?
You never
like,
liked
House of the Dead was played out in like '98. Like, are we really?
You didn't like Time Crisis?
What about Time Crisis? What about Area 51? What about that one where you had to rescue Aerosmith?
Generation DX.
It's something
Oh
like
my god, it was so bad. Some of those were really bad though. I gotta be honest.
Dude, if
But
I
yeah.
could buy an Area 51 arcade machine and put it like right back here, I fucking would.
You know what you need to save your money for is the House of the Gun Dead. Enter the Gungeon is creating one of those games.
For
like
VR?
a shooter. Yeah, it looks so cool. They just previewed it on their page, and I want to spend $3,000 on a fucking one of those things. Because essentially you're paying for a TV, the screen, which is big. You're paying for a TV. You're paying for basically all the computer components that make the game run. You're basically paying for like a video game console that plays one game.
Why are you so shocked? Arcade cabinets are expensive.
Yeah,
so
have
they
you
charge
ever
you
seen
quarters to play them, so they can make their money back and then make money. Like,
you never knew that arcade cabinets were that much money?
No.
No, Tony, the crazy thing about it too, because I was reading the article about this, is that it still takes quarters, and they come to your house like once a week, and they come and they like
Shut
pull
the
all the
fuck up,
quarters.
bitch. I'm over here really listening to you. Then at some point, be like, nah, this is bitch ass motherfucker.
But anyhow, yeah, I'm still on the fence about the PSVR 2, and
Same.
My opinion mostly coincides with Doey's in that, like, I like the idea of the VR, the peripherals, all that stuff looks cool. I'm not
The
convinced
haptic
yet.
triggers, I think they
Those
can do a
look-
lot with that
That shit looks crazy
because of what they did with the PS5 Returnal,
Controller.
all that.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced yet until I see games. And even the PSVR 1, by the end of it, there were quite a few games that were cool. Like even games like Resident Evil 7 and things like that were, VR compatible or whatever, but it's just not enough for me. I don't know what I'm looking for. Whatever is there is not enough for me. That's what I know. It's pricey.
There was a cool one that I saw that they were releasing soon. I forget the name of it, but it's basically like this VR game where one person plays like this giant, and the other person is doing like, it's a 2-player game. It's co-op. One person's playing the giant. They have to have a VR headset. The other person is just playing this traditional platforming 3D game. And the giant is like moving shit for you and like building platforms and things like that. So that way you can navigate your way through this stage.
That's pretty cool.
And I thought that was a cool concept. I think there should be some more innovative stuff like that. But much like Bucho, I don't know what I want out of a VR game. I don't know what the ideal VR game is for me. But I know it's not all the shooters that we keep seeing.
I don't think it's shooters either. I think it does need to go into an RPG or even a card-based game that's makes the things like pop out. I guess like how Pokemon is, or whatever. You trade your cards and then they'll pop out and they'll battle in front of you, or like even a building game, like a simulator game, like maybe fucking, you know what I'm saying, like something like that where you have to sit there and think. Anything like that would be cool.
Whatever happened to that Microsoft augmented reality shit that they were showing off? Do y'all remember that?
They sold it to the military.
Is that what happened to it? Because I remember they were
made
talking
a lot
about
of money off of that.
They were talking about that augmented reality version of Minecraft and things like that, and I was like, "This looks cool." This
The
looks
military
like
saw that shit and said that shit looks cool. And they're like, "You need that."
That's
They
crazy.
said we need exclusivity on that.
Damn. That's what I want. You remember that scene in Star Wars? They're playing that game, let the Wookiee win, that whole scene. That's what I want. I want that augmented reality board game to play with.
No, yeah,
That would be cool. It'd be dope. There's a lot of cool things you could do with augmented reality. The experiences would mostly be smaller, but like imagine you're sitting there doing like a Pokemon battle just like on your tabletop. Like that'd just be dope to see. Like and you're sitting there picking attacks and shit, and then it's like playing out on your table. Like that'd be really cool.
Or even like Ace Combat too. You just you're sitting in the cockpit and you're fucking just trying to, I don't know. I think
You're
I would
sitting in
buy
the cockpit and then you can see your living room right there. Are you talking about VR now?
like VR. I'm talking VR.
Oh,
Going back to
we're
VR.
talking about
I'm going back
augmented
to-
reality.
No,
It's
yeah.
different.
I'm going back to
Yeah.
VR.
I
But aren't those two
Ace
things
Combat
kind
would
of
be
the same
fire.
thing though?
Yeah.
Who? What?
VR and augmented reality are kind of just the same thing, right?
Yeah, but
Except
you're
for
looking at your
augmented reality
surroundings,
is it's like your surroundings popping up. Like
Augmented reality is like if you that the heads up display you get in video games. It's like if you had that in real life.
Which would be sick.
Imagine that for your calorie counting app. You could have a little counter like in the corner of your vision all the time, like how many calories you have. Get a little
How many you're
reminder that pops up
burning.
saying you need to like drink some water.
I mean, Apple's trying to come out with those glasses that
Google tried to come out with glasses.
Dude,
though.
they've got contact lenses that they've gotten pretty far into development that will give you augmented reality, which is cool
That's
as hell. I'm
crazy.
for it, man.
But
What if you
yeah,
had? What if you had to get your eyeballs taken out in order for it to work properly though? And they like install
the fuck
shit
is
into your
Cyberpunk
eyes and put them back in.
2077?
I'm just saying, yeah. What would you guys do it?
Can I still see afterwards?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm down 100%.
I would do it too so much. I'd go right away. Cyborg, for some reason, Cyborg was something that I said that's me.
You know who
I'm a
Doughboy is
cyborg.
in that Cyberpunk series? That fucking guy who just goes too far and fucking goes crazy. I forget his name. Oh, you seen it? Yo, you seen the show too, Boosh? Yeah, that's right. You got to look at that shit though. You're
No, I
fucking
thought you were
slacking.
talking about the Cyberpunk video game. The guy got like he got a cyborg cock, and then things don't go well for him. It goes out of control.
I don't think I've done that side quest yet.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But they do have games for the VR though. No Man's Sky, Resident Evil, Gran Turismo. That'd be actually pretty cool to do VR. I don't know how I would be able to play that though. I would love to have the steering wheel, but that'd be fucking sick.
I feel like if you're playing Gran Turismo in VR, you gotta have like manual shifting on your car.
I think if someone just walks behind you, just straight fuck them up. Nah, that's crazy. They got Star Wars. They got a couple other games. Puzzling Place. Some games I probably would.
The Star Wars one looks cool. Beat Saber's rad. If Beat Saber's on VR, that's another reason why I am considering that. I'm always considering buying VR just for Beat Saber, honestly.
Thinking Vacation Simulator.
I'll consider buying VR much more strongly when I see the Half-Life Alyx is coming out. Till then,
on PS5.
Yeah, I don't know. I played
gonna happen.
the orange box on my PS3. So
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Do you guys know that the servers for those are still up? I think the PS3 servers got closed down, but the Xbox 360 servers are still up.
Really?
I remember trying to play
Team
Team
Fortress
2 on the PS3, and it was terrible. There were like 3 players.
It's also an unupdated version of the game. It's like a very vanilla, basic version of the game.
There's another big Team Fortress update coming out. Apparently, that game is still around.
Oh,
and it's still unplayable. The game, everybody is nothing but bots. Like people just can't play the game anymore.
They're
like,
addressing that's what they addressed.
Oh, they took a long fucking time to do it. People have been
Almost
pissed
a
for
year.
years.
Almost a year or
No,
two.
it's been
Yeah,
way more than a year. People have been pissed for years. They can't enter servers without getting instantly headshotted.
They got that Star Wars Squadron game on VR.
That's a good game, dude.
I never played it, but it looked fun.
That game is slept on, but that's a really solid game, honestly.
They even got some shit called what the hell, Synth Riders. I don't even know what the fuck that.
I don't know what that one is.
And then they got Among Us. That'd be pretty cool to do a night of Among Us.
yeah.
VR?
None of this sounds exciting, to be completely honest.
Hitman
Among
3
3
is like the most mid. That sounds pretty cool.
Hitman
That sounds
3.
pretty cool. Yeah.
You'd be like this, choking niggas out. Sure.
One of my favorite videos on the internet is some dude playing the game LA Noire in VR.
It's funny. Dude, that
Really?
game is so funny.
Have you seen the one I'm talking about? He's dancing. It's got this little like goofy like 1920s song playing, and he's like doing like
No.
dances and whatnot.
But I know that the facial expressions in that game are so exaggerated that sometimes they're trying to portray somebody being some type of way, and you have to pick, is this person being this, or that? And his face is like,
Yeah, the guy's like,
and you're
I
like,
didn't.
I don't know what that face means.
He's like, I didn't see nothing.
I mean, at some point, Xbox is gonna take over that shit. Now that they get that 10-year deal with Nintendo, with the VR, maybe if they throw a little VR, have Nintendo VR games coming out too. Do some type of
yeah, I
cloud
don't think
gaming?
Xbox is. I think they sold that shit, and I think the military has some sort of exclusivity on it for the X amount of years.
Tony, are you talking about? Are you saying that you have hints about the Nintendo Virtual Boy 2 finally coming out?
maybe. I mean, you guys all heard about it, right? The 10-year contract legal agreement with Call of Duty and Nintendo players. So far,
what are the details on that? Like, what do we actually know about that? Because all I read is that they're guaranteeing that Call of Duty is going to be coming to Switch, which is wild to me. And like, first off,
yeah, it's just mostly like long-term access to Call of Duty, and that they're like Nintendo will be able to play it, and other
Basically,
platforms. But
it's way more than that. Because first of all,
this.
Call of Duty games can't run on Nintendo Switch. So what they're gonna do is basically you're gonna get Xbox Cloud on the Switch. You're also gonna get Xbox Bing searches, so you can use the internet and stuff like that on your Switch. And it's what I thought all along. Like it was gonna help their infrastructure, and basically it's what they're doing, creating just infrastructure for internet and extra infrastructure. I am absolutely sure some version of Xbox Live / Nintendo is gonna come out. They're gonna do something in that realm.
This might
Do
be
you
gearing up.
do you think this is in response to the Steam Deck?
Probably, maybe, but I think competition is healthy for everyone.
For sure.
This could mean
For sure.
that
I'm just curious though, because like the Steam Deck is basically a PC in your hands, right? So is this Nintendo realizing like we have this console, it's widely adopted, and we're just not doing anything with it besides gaming? Do we need to compete more in this space?
well, Call of Duty's been on Nintendo anyways. Call of Duty's have played on Nintendo a long
Yeah,
time
but the
ago.
Switch is like a fucking
But, yeah.
PS3 generation console, pretty much.
You're talking like back in the GameCube era or something,
Wii
right? Wasn't there a
U.
Call of Duty game?
No, the Wii U
Okay.
had Call of Duty on it.
Ugh.
But I think this is
So he's
gearing.
astonished. One thing I find a little weird about this, if it's Xbox Game Cloud, which I haven't really heard much about, if it is that, it's kind of shit because it's like, what if you buy this game, then you just can't play it wirelessly? Like, sorry, you leave your house, you just can't play it because you don't got internet.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's like, that's just trash. Now, like a big selling point of the Switch is like, you know, being mobile with your console. It's kind of shitty that it's like, you leave your house, you just can't play this game anymore. And then also, is it just for Call of Duty or do you get access to all those games?
I think they're gonna. I think it's not just Call of Duty. I think we're talking about Blizzard and Activision and what they have to offer.
Why does this require a 10-year deal?
I don't know. Maybe they just needed it to be on paper.
It's
What I think it is Microsoft trying to show the FTC that they're not like, you know, they're not doing like crazy competitive things. They're playing ball with everybody. They're really trying to get through with this
merger.
This acquisition of Activision or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, that's my take on it. I think that it's just broadcasting. Oh, we don't have any bad intent to the world. Basically, I don't trust it though.
Maybe Nintendo's gonna gear up for a nice ass console, and this is probably a way to like get them to be like, you know what, want to rock out with Xbox and shit.
I've heard that Nvidia already created a new chip that in that style. They're already creating more chips, and I know Nintendo's
In what
been
style?
the chip that's inside the Switch. It's like a special chip that Nvidia made, and they're making more of them, and Nintendo is testing them out on like I guess their new versions. Because you got the Switch 2 has to be in development. It has to. There's no way.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just can't believe this is gonna be a 7 to 8 year longer than that cycle of. It's weird. It came out 2014, right?
I'm not positive, honestly.
I think this came out.
I think it was
somewhere
around
there.
then. I remember seeing the commercial for the Switch, but I don't know when it dropped.
I don't know. You would assume that there's all of the big game manufacturers, the big video game console manufacturers have something in the works, right? You would assume they always have something new coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's something deeper than that. I think honestly, they're definitely what Pucho said. They're using it as a hey, we're playing nice, whatever, give me everything type shit, and then Nintendo might not just do maybe Nintendo won't do a handheld no more. I think they'll probably just go console and leave it at the Switch for a couple years.
Oh wow, I was way off. 2017 March 3rd.
I was gonna say. I was just gonna let it ride out.
Yeah.
I mean that's still 6 years old.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, what the console lifetime is what, like about 10 years, 8 years, something like that?
7, if I'm
it's
not
like
correct.
6 or 7.
Is it 6 or 7?
We're blinded by like that PS3 era was just so fucking hefty
Mhm.
that
That shit
and
was
then even
gold.
the PS4 like lasted what 7 years. 2021 was when the PS3 dropped, right?
Yeah, we're not talking about all
Or
that
the
other.
PS5. 2021 is when the PS5 dropped.
I think so.
I mean, the PS5 is pretty beefy because, like, honestly, like, even a PS6, right? Like, what are we going to see? We're going to see higher frame rates. We're going to see some more additional, like, extra effects that, like, the shit you can turn on when you're PC gaming. Are we going to see a massive, like, jump in graphic, like, quality and whatnot, though? I don't think so.
Yeah, the only area that graphically is gonna get improved is like lighting, reflections, things like that. What kind of and I guess surfaces too, like the what materials look like and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I don't think we're getting any major. Honestly, that jump from PS1 to PS2, like that era, made like a drastic improvement in graphics. After that, it feels like the improvements have been iterative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I put on games like Returnal and Demon Souls remake, and I can tell this Dead Space remake that just came out. I can tell like
That game looks
this
sick,
is like
dude.
the next step. And I'm fully on board as long as they're making like a good faithful recreation. I think I'm on board with it. I just beat Dead Space. It's so good. The one thing I would say that like they really improved on was lighting. The game always had great atmosphere, so they just made it better in my opinion.
Mhm.
Sound design is on another level. I always kept my headphones on because there's so much stuff going on. What a great game.
Do you
Yeah,
use those same
phenomenal.
headphones like to game?
No, the Pulse. I use my Pulse
I
headsets.
see.
Yeah.
I mean, did you
Which
like the
they're
new
good
ones?
too. Huh?
Like the newer one that came out, it's like the $150 ones or whatever.
No, I haven't seen those, but I was looking at some of the features on that, and these have better features than that. I was like, I didn't get it. You're losing out on some features if you get those really expensive ones. So I'll stick to the pulses. The
Are-
pulses
are-
have done me good.
Are we back on headsets? Because Bucho just bullied me into buying some new headsets right before we recorded.
Yeah.
That's a bully, bro.
I was just wondering.
Made me spend $200 this morning.
Damn.
$200.
Nah, it was like 150 or
Oh.
something. It wasn't that crazy.
Dude, wireless is the way to go.
Yeah, I like wireless headsets for sure.
As crazy as it sounds, I got a kid running around the house constantly needing shit and a baby crying and shit. I can't have headphones in my head like while I'm gaming. Like I usually have one earbud in one ear if I'm talking with my friends and stuff like that. But when I'm playing games, I just have it coming straight out the TV. Well, not the TV. I got like a surround sound. I got all these speakers in my living room.
With
these
my
tall-ass
70-inch TV.
His old
77.
LED.
77
OLED.
4K HDR.
HDR.
Just get the specs right. I mean,
My bad.
I'm gonna try to clown me. Get that 77 inches. I paid for every inch. Okay.
I let me not even say it.
So have there actually been hints that anything big is coming for Nintendo, or is it this just all like the people like theorizing with this Microsoft announcement?
Nah,
I'm not
I
too
haven't
sure.
heard anything.
Nintendo is resilient though. Like after the flop the Wii U was, I honestly was in the camp of like, they're not even gonna make a console. They're gonna sell their company. Like, and I was kind of bummed out because I've always been interested in all the weird and quirky things Nintendo does. So I was a little like, man, this is gonna suck. When they dropped the Switch, I was like,
Think
like that the marketing for that, I was like, all right, this is gonna hit. Like, I don't know how they fucked up so hard with the Wii U and they followed up so well with the Switch, but
I mean, the Wii U was another one of those things. Like the idea was interesting. It was quirky, and in a different universe, that should hit because they used it properly. But I feel like they just never actually used the Wii U properly. It's like the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was a fantastic system that was poorly used, and no one used it properly. It's the Vita, like as Doey will say up there, fantastic system, stellar performance, great specs. They didn't release anything for it, so the system died.
Yep.
Yeah, the
And
Vita
it's
had
sad that they
potential.
allowed it to die like that. It has so much potential.
Like, if the Vita was the Switch back in the days, oh my God.
So I also think who's benefiting more in this 10-year deal, and you gotta
Microsoft.
see it. Like they're aligning themselves with a software company that makes UI and makes platforms to run stuff off of. It just seems like this has more implications than just Activision and fucking Call of Duty. It just feels like they're aligning themselves with Microsoft, and Microsoft may have like a hand at designing the next Switch. It wouldn't surprise me.
that would be the most depressing things ever. The Xbox designers are some of the worst I've ever seen. They made literally a little like a fucking little mini refrigerator as a console. I'd be really bummed out if they touched anything Nintendo. Because
I mean, the Xbox Series X is great. Their fucking UI is good.
Talk
I don't
about
see
the
an
but
issue.
he's
form.
talking about the aesthetics of like the console itself.
Like the PS5 looks sick, slick, fucking.
I mean, I don't know. I like the Xbox. It looks good. I don't
that's
think it looks
fine. I
bad.
don't want a square. in my living room.
Would you
That's
take
just
that Xbox console out on a date though, Doey, if the PS5 was sitting there next to it and the PS5 came up and was talking to you?
PS5 got curves.
Yeah,
so
see?
probably yeah.
You got a flat ass and a flat chest. It ain't a good look.
Yeah.
Right?
Damn.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
just saying.
it's that, I would agree with
Sony
Pucho.
got a small chest, but it got junk in the trunk. There's a big curve back there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
overheating issues, but it's a big curve back there. Shit, my
I
PlayStation
like
got
be
overheating
getting hot.
issues.
I've
It be
had
getting
like
hot, bro.
I like my console hot, as Tony says.
Nah, my shit be cool as a cucumber, bro.
Yeah. I feel it above it, like heat coming out, but never have I.
That back
Dude, I
It's
got
not
my
overheating.
PS5 in like a cubby, and I occasionally shove my hands back there just to feel. Should be cool. Maybe my house is cold all the time, but I don't got no heating issues in my console.
it just be hot behind it. Like you put your hand down there and be like, damn, what the fuck is this cooking? But whatever. Anyways. So I caught myself the other day looking at TV with my son and my mom and them outside. And the news came on. And I've never watched the news ever in my life. And I got to thinking, and I asked my mom, I was like, yo, do you believe in news? Like it being necessary to watch on TV? Like, do you really believe that it's necessary to watch the news on TV, Mom, instead of going on your phone and reading it for yourself? So I figured, you know what? Bring it to the chat. Bring it to the One Up family. Ask you guys, hey, do you believe the news is necessary?
So are we talking about like fake news? What are we talking
Just
about? What is this
news in
introduction?
general.
Are we talking
Channel,
about
like-
is news fake? Are we trying to
No.
like go that direction?
No. Is the news is the news necessary? Do we need to watch it on TV?
You're making two separate statements.
there is definitely two separate statements.
You're asking, yes. You're asking if the news is necessary, and then you're only talking about the TV news. Okay,
I was trying
those
to
are
give an
two
example, my bad.
separate.
Yeah, I'm trying to like give an example of the news.
Because
So,
if you're saying, do people need to watch Tucker Carlson on TV every day? I would say no.
Yeah.
But if you're saying, does the news need to exist as like just media in general, delivering information to people, then I say absolutely yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think those are two separate.
I will say that I do think that the 24-hour news channels are bad. I think that the idea that they have to fill 24 hours of broadcasting time with something leads to a lot of nonsense where they're reporting on shit that is not actually an issue and they're turning it into an issue by reporting on it because they have to fill their time.
They have to
I think it's-
they're sensationalizing it.
100%. I think the 24-hour news cycle was bad for us in general. I think it leads to a lot of the fractures that we see between political parties and philosophies in the country.
I highly agree. I feel like that much, it's too much of anything, I guess, can be bad. But I feel like that much, I personally.
And I'm talking from both sides too. I'm talking about like the more liberal leaning news source. I'm talking about Fox News. They're both bad. They're both like pushing people further and further and further into their entrenched opinions, and it's this echo chamber effect and this like their own bias like confirming itself kind of thing going on. I think that's bad.
They gotta know that too. They gotta have the statistics, and they gotta know that there's a formula to this already. Because the way people ingest news and politics, and it's really like everyone has their own flavor of cereal, and they get to indulge in it as much as they want to.
But in a hypothetical where the news goes away on TV and people are only getting their news from the internet, you know what that actually means? That means people are getting their news from Twitter and Facebook, and I don't like the idea of that world either.
I mean, they're doing it now, though. The majority is doing it now. When Trump was on his president, that's all. People would just believe that Facebook is the news. I mean, and it just hasn't gone away since.
And that shit is scary, man. That is one of the
Yeah, but if
scariest
it's
things
like
in this country.
50-60% of people using Facebook as their news. You take the TV away, it might be 80-90% of people looking at Facebook as news. I mean, you do it all the time, right, Tony? You see a headline, you start talking about it without reading the article. Like,
I used to do that. I used the top part. I used to do that. Yeah, for sure.
so I mean, like, a lot of people are guilty of it.
Did you guys not hear that the Russians made Facebook groups that were like pro-Republican and like they were running their own like counterintelligence type shit to ruin the election?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Russia came onto Facebook and stuff like that.
I think the 3 largest conservative Facebook groups were like Russian propaganda. Like,
That's wild.
literally Russian operatives creating something for people.
You know, and it would be nice to be able to have conversations about things like that, at a big level, without people being so fractured. I mean, like, oh, you just hate Republicans, so that's the reason that you're claiming that there's Russian interference, blah blah blah. It's like, no, man, this is an actual like legit threat to our democracy, and these are things that we should talk about, regardless of whether they're trying to influence it to the Republican or Democratic or whatever. These are important conversations to be able to have, and we've kind of lost that ability.
Yeah, you know what the problem is with the news too is that there's too many news outlets, and they censor their shit. I feel like the news censor their shit. They're not really reporting real shit that like actually consist of like things that are against the government. Not really against the government, but things that make the government look bad or the law look a certain way.
But the news doesn't have any obligation to make the government look. What obligation does any news channel have to make the government look good?
I mean, you can you can follow the money, right? And a lot of the news organizations are owned by a lot of the same people and things like that. You could make the argument that there's some amount of that. I don't know if I believe that most of the journalists in the world, though, are actually influenced in that way. I mean, that's why you see journalists get fired and things like that.
Yeah, they get silenced.
Yeah, and
for sure.
You said they get silenced?
Yeah, not like deaf. Like they'll lose their job. They'll like their job. They'll push them out. And be like, yo, if you don't fucking stop, the door is right there. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's not like someone come out and kept their ass. But.
I haven't really heard about this, but yeah, I mean the I guess the ties between journalists and government are pretty deep though. Like imagine all those White House correspondents and stuff like that. Trump used to be like, you ask me a bad question a couple times, I'm just not gonna allow you to be here. There was a point in time where there was like no liberal media at the White House anymore because Trump just didn't allow them. You could argue that if they really wanted to be there, they would have switched their messaging up to appease Trump and then be able to like, make, whatever the news is centered around being at the White House. But I mean, it didn't really go down like that. I don't have this view of the news that they're not reporting the things that make the government look bad and blah blah blah. I think if they had some news story that the government did this super horrible thing and they had the evidence for it, they'd be the first people to report it. Like the ratings would be out of this world.
Yeah, but to a certain extent, though, I mean, bro, if let's just say someone had the facts that the government tried to assassinate some Russian or somebody. It doesn't gotta be Russian. Somebody, a king or a president, whatever. They had the facts. They go to the newsroom, be like, "Yo, I got facts. This is the proof." They just try to kill him.
Wasn't the thing in Haiti? Didn't they find out that some of the people in Haiti were from security service from Florida or some shit like that? There was a coup in Haiti, and I think the only person that survived was the president's wife or something like that. And it turned out that some of those people were from like a security service from Florida, like 2 or 3 people from there. So I don't think that the America has any bias like that.
Not bias against any other country, but for us, I think they're controlled. I honestly think every news fucking agency is controlled someone in the upper level that has some type of money or dealings with. I'm going to conspiracy theories now.
You think there's one dude up there with like a big like black Sharpie, and he's like, nope, we're marking all this out.
They got the group chat for that, man.
So part of what Tony's saying isn't wrong though, like, but it's for different reasons. If there was some story about the American government doing some operation in the Middle East or wherever the fuck they're at, and they try to assassinate somebody of importance, and the news gets their hands on that with evidence that this occurred, they still might not report it. But the reasons that they might not report on that at that moment is by them saying that, oh, this thing's happened, they're now endangering American lives that are over there right now. So it's like they don't want the responsibility of creating a problem for Americans. So they might report on it when the situation changes. And then when that situation changes, becomes complicated, because then they're going to go to the government and say, yo, we want to report on the story. Like, and the government's going to try to give them the runaround, because if a story tries to make them look bad, then they obviously don't want it to get out. So it's just, there is this relationship with the government. Like, I just don't think it's as nefarious as like you're making it out to be.
I just think if you got to report it, give a fuck who it hurts or who it offends.
I mean, you wouldn't care that you're gonna get people killed.
Yeah, because I mean that's the hypothetical, right? Like that shit has happened before.
Who's
where
the people
where the news organizations are reporting on like troop movements and things like that, and they're like, this was a secret operation. You shouldn't be reporting on our troop movements. Now you're putting all these people at risk, all these Marines and Army, whatever the fuck, at risk because you're reporting that they're about to move on, I don't know, Baghdad or whatever. They're grouped outside in this village. Like, there's concerns like that, and I don't think that's a thing that the journalists shouldn't do. I think that they should hold back whenever they're putting lives at risk, especially in like a war type situation.
Imagine there were reporters in the middle of. You're crazy. You're out of your mind.
First off,
you're telling me that there's going to be people in the middle of the war, like they're chilling in Ukraine, and every single operation the Ukrainian military is about to make, they just blast it out into the world. Then Russia gets to just use that information to get the leg up on the war. You think that's how it should play out?
We're about to do D-Day.
The Americans are set to land on Normandy Beach on this day and at this hour. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're fucking us up. Like, how can you think that's just sabotage?
If a reporter has that information, then that shit's already been leaked. If the government's doing a secret attack, and some reporter got it, it's already been leaked. Someone else knows.
What are we even talking about here?
Just leakage. We're talking about leakage. We're talking about leakage.
Bro, but
you don't want to keep up with the leakage.
It's like 24 with Jack Bauer or some shit. Like the fact of the matter is, yeah, multiple news organizations are going to have their hands on this news. They're not going to report it because literally it'll put them in major shit with the government. They're going to be like, all right, fuck y'all. Y'all gonna fuck with us? Like, we're not gonna fuck with you. Like, we're not gonna, we're gonna give you a hard time as possible with anything you want out of us. Like, I don't know. It seems fucking reasonable. I would be pissed off if my kid was in the military and CNN was reporting troop movements and to fucking get somebody killed. Like, that'd be, like, I don't know. I'd be livid. Like, I'd blame them for it.
You're gonna really blame somebody reporting when your kid joined the military, knowing that him or her can possibly die? No.
Due to news information?
Due to a bullet.
The news?
Due to a bullet. Due to a bomb. Fuck a news. Like, bro, you go be a cop, you're gonna be mad that your son or your daughter died as a cop?
I love
but you're minimizing the situation. You're saying that the person think about if you're out in the street and you got beef with somebody and you're just out and about and somebody calls on the phone, yo, I just saw Tony's over here, blah, blah, blah. And then they pull up and kill you. You don't think that guy who called them had anything to do with it?
Oh, yeah, he's just as bad as
all right, that's what the news is in
the
this situation. It's the same situation.
I don't know. If you had an op and I tell you, yo, Pooch, your op's out here.
And I go and do something to that person, you're part of that. You're culpable.
Yeah. You're an accessory to the crime.
Okay.
I'm not even talking legally. I'm saying that people will say Tony got that person killed for a fact. They'll call you a snitch too.
That's crazy.
Probably. Be out here snitching on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know for a fact that in that predicament, that the person who's calling the other person to do something
is starting the train
is part of
killing. Yeah. Or
right.
whatever,
like they're
of
providing
violence.
the vital information to create this killing. Right. It's the same thing with the news saying, "Oh, these people are over here." The American military moved 30 miles west of the whatever the fuck, and then it's like, all right, if they start bombing over there, you know, those reporters are culpable in that. Like,
All right.
my whole point is there are cases when reporters get information that they probably shouldn't report on at that time. And maybe ever, because then 2 years from now, when they're not in that location, what are they going to go? 2 years ago, the American military moved what? It's like, it's not really a story anymore. So there's a delicacy. Is that even the right word? That's like food. There's like a, you know, it's a delicate matter. And like, if you don't treat it as such, bad shit happens. And it has happened. Like when Edward Snowden leaked all that shit about the American government, like spying on the American citizens, like part of that was cool. Like, yeah, if the American government's doing something wrong, like
we want it to be reported on.
We want it to be reported. We want to hear about it.
If we started a secret war in Mexico or something, we had troops running down there, I would like the news to report on that. That's some shit that I would like to know is happening.
But the manner in which you report on it is super important. So when all that shit leaked, it was just like a bombardment of all these government documents. Now you got Americans that are like in the middle of operations and in the middle of all these places that now you got to start pulling these people out. You got undercover cops or whatever the fuck that their identities are getting posted on the internet. It's like, all right, like you're fucking up a lot of shit by doing this leak.
Did Edward Snowden do that?
Yeah. Do what? Leak? Yeah.
Really? So he endangered
just downloaded
people's
like
lives.
1 billion documents and gave them to WikiLeaks.
Oof.
Yeah.
He let it loose.
He had nothing to lose?
No, he let it loose. That man opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
The man had to go in hiding, bro. They wanted to cap this guy.
He's still in hiding.
I do think there needs to be some protections for like leakers and stuff like that, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the manner in which you leak something is also important. Like, there have been leakers in the past that have information. They go to reputable news sources and they provide them with this information, and they allow these news organizations to curate what gets like put out to the world. You know what I mean?
It's the problem. It's the same problem with like the Twitter files shit that fucking like douchebag from Twitter keeps doing. There's not a lot in there. There is some worrying shit in there, but there's so much that is being dropped and it's not being vetted by a news source, so that everyone is just drawing their own conclusions. There's this whole echo chamber of nonsense going on Twitter anytime that one of those Twitter files drops happens.
Being in an echo chamber has to be one of the worst things to do, right?
For sure.
Allowing
Best things in the
yourself
world. Your
for sure.
opinions get validated. You make all these friends. You guys get to fight the good fight. You get to say the craziest shit you want, but everybody feels the same way. So you feel your opinions are getting validated. I don't know.
I mean,
it may feel good, but I think it's one of the worst things a person could do.
cyclists
For sure,
are that way.
but it's tough to get out of there too, right? Like it's like that. I mean that's a whole topic in and of itself. Like, how do you get out of the echo chamber that is the internet? Because the internet, the way that it works is it's all your interest get turned into your suggestions, right? And that feeds into the whole echo chamber thing. You're only seeing the shit that you like, so that's what gets fed to you through the internet algorithms. There's some concerns there. There's an issue there for sure.
It's definitely weird when you talk about something. Like, I could talk about mayo and ketchup. Next you know, I got it on my phone. That shit's
You're on a government watch list.
Yeah, been on that. I'm just saying, like,
It doesn't work like that though.
what?
People swear that it does. I've heard that argument so many times.
I gotta be completely honest.
I was talking about curling my hair the other day, and now all my ads on Facebook are about curling my hair.
Facts.
Nah, dude.
No, it does not work that way. I mean, sorry, take it from the computer programmer. I promise you, it does not work that way. Like, the amount of effort it would take to take voice recordings of people and then transcribe that and then start feeding ads to them, it would be a lot. Like, there's a way more simple way. Usually people, your cell phones ping. Oh my God, why are you so sure of this when you don't know anything? This is so annoying.
Bro, anybody in America, anybody who's watching this, please comment on this section. I'm telling you right now, I could talk about condoms, dildos, ketchups, all this shit, and at some point that same day on Facebook, you'll get an advertisement for that shit.
Send me the screenshots of the condoms, the dildo, and the ketchup that's gonna pop up on your feed today.
I hope it's just one ad.
All in one. All in
All
one.
this- all
It's gonna
he's
be
saying-
built.
It's a condom built for dildos it's ketchup flavored. That's what's gonna come out. Like, what the fuck?
So
Would
basically,
would you call that a condiment?
Someone
I'm
said
just
it's
gonna
like
that's
say-
a dad joke.
A
If
man-
I've ever heard
Yes.
one. Yeah.
The man said ketchup. Now I got Zaxby's on my fucking shit. Ketchup, food.
That's-
this is
that's
all
a
the same
stretch.
shit.
Same. Yeah. Come
All
on,
this
dude.
shit.
You're
Don't worry,
bugging.
I'm gonna show y'all later. I'm gonna talk about it, but I'll show y'all later.
Tony. I don't think you understand what he's saying. He's saying that
I
yes,
understand
it
what he's
seems
saying.
like that. It's just not the execution you think.
All right, tell me different, bro, because I'm telling you right
it's
now.
just way more basic. Like, we all have cell phones, right?
Yep.
All your cell phones or your location, all this stuff is tracked.
Yep.
They have everything you do on your phone is tracked. Like, well, not so much on the phone itself, but like in the apps. So like, if I'm on Twitter scrolling, what I stop on to look for more than 2 seconds, that's logged.
Yep.
Oh, Pooch scrolled here, and then there was a ketchup ad, and he looked at it for 4 seconds. That was more than he looked at other things, and that gets logged. This guy might like ketchup. This, that. Then they take that data and pair it with what other cell phones has he been around, and then there'll be a ketchup ad that pops up on my wife's phone because our phones are in close proximity. They go, oh, if they're in close proximity, maybe these are people that agree on certain things or they discuss certain things. So then, whatever the fuck. Usually the way this happens is somebody who has already looked up on Google, they typed in ketchup flavored dildos. They type that into their phone, and then they go to a group setting and they talk about ketchup flavored dildos. And then later, one of the people that was in that group gets served the ketchup flavored dildo ad. Then people are like, oh my God, all we did was talk about it. It's so crazy. But it's like, no, you were within a few feet of the ketchup dildo guy. There's only a few people searching for that. And now the internet thinks that you're interested in this. So that's what's happening.
This is sick.
That's it.
This is
Your
real
information is sold, and you have so much information out there that it just isn't worth looking at. You're fucking recording off of a phone. It just doesn't make sense.
You know all those terms of service agreements that we all just scroll down to the bottom of and hit accept? Shit's in
Right there. Literally right there.
That's crazy. We just invented a whole new flavor dildo. That's fucking ridiculous. I want money if that shit gets invented.
Only a Puerto Rican would accept the ketchup
Facts.
dildo.
Facts.
Just gonna put it.
Or someone who likes
Facts.
ketchup. I don't know. Why is it gotta be a
Only the
why
only
you
the
a-
Puerto Ricans.
Only
How you
the
attach to
Bodis.
the bodies?
Only the Bodis, bro.
Yo,
My
so
cousin.
Almost everybody appreciates ketchup. Okay, only the bodies love ketchup. All
The
right?
ketchup
If you-
on white rice with fried eggs. Ooh.
If you had a ketchup flavored dildo, would you want some French fry flavored lube?
He'd be like, come here, baby. Give me a kiss. After that, give me some of that ketchup.
All right. I don't know what the fuck. Nope, not doing it.
And on that note,
On
I have
that
to use the
note,
bathroom.
talking about accountability. Are you accountable for someone's death if you could have saved them but choose not to? You refuse to help them.
It's a heavy one, dude.
Oof.
Rough.
This is rough. I think, but I think we need to create some situations. Okay, you're standing at a crosswalk with someone, and you see them crossing the street when there's a car coming. Are you obligated to stop them, or I think any person would stop that person in that moment, or like grab them, or like say hey. Are you obligated in that situation?
No, you're not. You're not obligated to play Captain Save-A-Ho.
I say yes.
Saving someone's life is Captain Save-A-Ho?
I'm being a little bit like kiddish with it, but I'm
this
saying
guy's
like you're
walking. He's looking at his cell phone. He's walking directly into a human meat grinder. Tony's just gonna watch him walk right by to his death. He's not gonna say a word. I'm not playing Captain Save-A-Ho. You'd be like, yo, and you would try to stop the guy. Come on, don't play yourself.
I think if you've got the
You
ability,
carry a gun in case you save people's lives. Don't fucking fuck with me, Tony. Come on now.
that has been the entire argument that he's used every time he brought
saved
that
my own
up.
life.
I'm gonna save all of Walmart when the Walmart gunman walks in. I'm gonna shoot it. Come
Mostly
on.
they saved myself, but I mean, if they're there, they're gonna get saved. But yeah, if a dude is walking to a meat grinder, yeah, I'll stop him. Like, yo, chill. And then he'd be like, fuck you. I'll be like, you know what? Continue on, my boy.
I don't. Usually, the response is not "fuck you" unless you're messing with a mentally ill person, and then they want to walk out in the middle of the streets because sometimes they want to do that and like cause chaos or like get so close to the car when they. It's so weird. They love doing that. They'll stop in front.
Let's simplify the situation.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, let's say there was like shark infested waters, and you're in this little area. And there's this kid just kind of running all over the place. You're telling me you're not going to grab that kid and be like, yo, you're going to fall into this water? Like, where's this kid's parent? I need this parent to get here to, like, grab their own kid. But
No,
like,
yeah,
in the meantime...
I'll tell that kid, yo, chill out. Where's your parents? Yeah, I would stop him. I wouldn't want him to fall.
And what if he's trying to
infested
pull
water.
away from you? Would you hold him?
Yeah. And then
All
I would
right.
probably
So
have to...
you're doing... what is in effect an assault in order to save this kid's life? Like,
Yeah, you could
what
go to
would be
jail.
deemed in the court of law? All right, I'm with you. I would do the same thing. Like, I would grab the shit. I would body slam that kid until he's KO'd. If it meant him not falling into that water, like.
Yeah.
The scariest part of my bike ride is Times Square because there's so much chaotic. It's so much chaos. People are not thinking. People are not looking. Yo, people are letting their children walk on the bike lane while they hold their hand on the sidewalk. And it's like I have to like tell them like, yo, your kid's on the inside. Put your kids on the inside. Some people get really upset with me, but like, bro, if I was ever to hurt someone really bad on my bike, a dog, a kid, a
Fuck
person.
that dog.
Okay,
you
go
care
fuck
about
yourself.
a dog?
Sonny.
What would you care about
Whatever.
a dog? I would care more about a kid than a
Because
fucking dog.
I'm not into. I know you've had your fair share, Sonic 1
here
through
we
5,
go.
but
Here
I'm
we
not
go.
that way. All right, I have sympathy for animals. But I so just if I were ever to hurt someone, I'd feel really bad. So I get agitated sometimes when people are like lackadaisical. Let me put another one with you guys. You guys are standing inside an elevator, or you're standing outside the elevator, and then something happens to where the elevator's about to cut the guy in half. Do you pull the guy out and maybe get yourself thrown in as well? Or do you just watch the man get crushed by the elevator?
So are you saying that I have a potential of getting hurt by saving him?
I mean, yeah, I think in a lot of these situations, there's almost a potential for yourself to get hurt. I would say let's put that in all of these situations.
I don't
There's
like
a possibility.
that. I don't like that. I want to remove that because even me, I don't want to die. I got 2 fucking kids and a wife. Fuck that guy who happened to fall in the middle of the elevator.
Well, it's I swear that I read an experiment one time where they simulated like someone calling for help, right? And they were just like screaming in this like apartment complex, and no one came to help because everyone was under this assumption like someone else will help them. They're screaming so loud that someone else is going to help them. Because there's this self-preservation aspect of helping someone. A lot of us are not inclined to help someone if it's putting ourselves at risk, unless there's some kind of stake involved. It's a family member or a friend or something like that. Then you're more inclined to actually help in those dangerous situations.
You know, some people, you just made me think about, there was a time where I became a snitch. You could literally say I became a snitch. I was walking with my homegirl, or the girl I was talking to at the time. We were in the Bronx, and we're on my block, and We see this guy and this girl start walking down the block. She is sobbing, saying, let me go, let me go. And he got her hemmed the fuck up. And he's dragging her down the block. And she's saying, help me, screaming. Everybody's just watching. Nobody's pulling out their phones because in the hood, you don't want to be known as a snitch or you know what I mean? So I was like, yo, I had to do something. I had to do something. I was like, yo, this shit is wrong. This shit is fucked up. So I start to follow them, but like they're like a block and a half ahead. And I pull my phone out, and before I know it, the cops are already like pulling up, and I'm telling them, I'm like, it's them niggas right there. Them niggas right there. So niggas would call me a snitch for that, but
I would not call you a snitch for that particular
somebody's
situation.
Daughter, that's somebody's sister. I could not personally live with myself if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Or if I didn't, that shit is so fucked up. I don't like abuse towards anybody, but especially towards someone who can't defend themselves. That shit makes it 10 times worse, if you ask me.
I saw that video the other day of a teacher getting her ass beat by a kid because she took his Nintendo Switch away, and it was the most horrifying things I've ever seen.
Damn.
It's bad. I've seen a lot of fights in my life, and this is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's like caving. Well, it's not caving in, but effectively, he's like caving in the back of this lady's unconscious head. Like she's on the ground unconscious, and he's just punching her repeatedly in the back of that. I'm like, this is horrible.
He starts by shoving her. She gets knocked out with the shove by getting shoved to the floor. Then he starts kicking her. And then he starts punching her and shit like that.
Kid? How old?
This
What
kid,
grade?
he's big,
like maybe
bro.
16 years old or something.
Yeah, he's big, but he's like 6 feet tall, bro. He's big.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know how we got here.
The bystander
Would you
effect
stop him?
is what I'm talking about. Is this phenomenon?
Yeah, the
this social
bystander
phenomenon.
effect is crazy. In my old apartment complex that I used to live in, this woman got murdered, right, by some crazy dude, and he tortured her for hours. And I'm like, I think they later, like she was like missing limbs. Her limbs were nailed to the ground. It was like crazy shit like that. She must have been screaming, and nobody went to help this lady.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me that I was like, man, something like, it's just an example of something that happened near where I was. And I'm like, nobody even found out that this was going down until I think they started to smell something. You know what I'm saying?
It's why some of the advice they give now is if you're in a situation that's dangerous like that, you need to call out people specifically. Like instead of yelling help me, point to like a dude the dude in the blue shirt and be like, hey, you in the blue shirt, I need something like that, because there's this phenomenon that people are less likely to help. It basically states that individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim in the presence of other people, because everyone thinks like someone else will help. I don't have to deal with the situation. And if everyone has that same reaction, no one helps.
Domestic violence is a very tricky one, I feel, too. Because I've seen situations where a neighbor or something will be ODing, and then somebody from the neighborhood will come and try to help that person out, just for that woman to be back with the dude after he gets out of jail. And then now it's on and popping because that guy put him in jail, and it just creates a whole Leo.
I can tell you the only Leo I won't put myself in. If I'm going to get hurt, I will not save that dude in the elevator at all. I will not.
What about the train?
What if it was?
Let's start off super basic.
Yeah.
What if there was a guy, right, passed out or he's boom, this guy needs CPR, right?
Okay.
And standing next to him is the world's leading expert on CPR. He's the greatest CPR person of all time. Is standing right next to the guy who needs CPR.
Okay.
Do you think if that guy doesn't do CPR that he effectively helped kill that person?
Yes.
I don't think I could say that, but I think he fucked up. I think he's.
I'm calling that motherfucker murder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I morally speaking, that guy's a piece of shit, and he should burn in hell.
I think we live in a society, and a lot of people forget this, but we live in a society that there are social requirements to participate in society, and some of them are helping other people when they need assistance. It's being there for your fellow man. That's what makes society work. Is this whole this social pact that we are in agreement on like the social norms and the things that we should protect. But I don't know if I would go as far as to call a person a murderer if they didn't help. They're definitely a piece of shit, though.
I just think the whole world would condemn this person as a piece of shit. Like
sure.
and everybody would be like, this guy is a terrible human being. He had the power to keep this guy alive, and he did absolutely nothing. And granted, let's remove all the things out of the equation, like, oh, he was shocked, or he was stunned, or he was scared, or nah, this is just a totally normal situation. Some guy tripped and fell, boom, cardiac arrest, needs CPR.
Well, I mean, it's the Uvalde situation, right? The cops that just stood outside while the shooting was going on.
I think it's different, but I also think they're pieces of shit. I just think like a guy running into the middle of a shooting to help other people, with the potential of getting shot, is a way different situation than somebody. But you're saying how much you need to put into the equation to get out or something.
That definition I would agree with. A guy running into the shooting to help, that's a crazy thing that we would expect a person to do. A law enforcement officer standing outside a shooting and not running in to assist people.
Sorry, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done it. I'm saying that like the bar of how much skin in the game you have, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody who's gonna do all they're gonna risk is like, oh, maybe that guy I'm about to give CPR to, maybe he got herpes, or maybe he got like something, or right, like there's some risks there, but it isn't life threatening in that exact situation. Where somebody running into, a firefighter running into a fire, like a cop running into a shootout, like I view those situations vastly different. Like to me, the person not giving CPR is the bigger piece of shit here, in my opinion.
That's their job, firefighters and cops, right? Firefighter run into a burning house, that's their jobs. Cops to go into a shootout.
Would y'all help someone that fell in the subway?
That's what I was going to try. Tracks.
I would try. Yeah, on the tracks. I
don't know if I'd get on the tracks, but I think I'd try to like lift them up onto the platform and stuff like that for sure.
It depends. For me, only because if he's
Tony,
drug,
is a CPR person? Sorry, you like.
Oh yeah, y'all were talking. So a CPR guy.
You're like aware.
No, he's not a. He's not a. I don't think. Morally, he's a piece of shit. But no, that's not his job to save that dude.
But who's talking about jobs? We're just.
I'm saying.
How would you treat that person afterwards? Is that a person that you?
I'll say he's a piece of shit. Yeah, I wouldn't be friends.
You wouldn't be that person's friend.
I wouldn't be that person's friend. He's a piece of shit. You should have saved him. You have the like. I know CPR. I'm trained in it. If someone's fucking needs CPR, I'm gonna give that person CPR. Now, if I catch some type of fucking AIDS or some type of mouth virus from it, I'm gonna be fucking tight.
But a mouth virus.
You know what I mean? Like whatever the fuck the case. Like I'll be fucking tight, but the piece of shit's alive at least. You know what I mean? Like
I don't even think they recommend you put your mouth on other people's mouth.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you
gotta do like some hovering, but I mean you never know nowadays. Like,
I thought it was just chest compressions now. I thought like they got rid of
their
all
mouth
that
open,
giving air.
They have little devices that you can use to be able to breathe without making skin contact.
Oh, which
the world's leading expert in CPR would have on him because they make him in like keychain format now, where it's like this thing that like folds out or something.
Like I said, morally, yeah, he's a piece of shit. But I mean, like in Florida, if you save someone, they can sue you. Like it's fucking crazy to me too. Like
yeah, but get rid of all of that. We're not.
No,
you're talking about you're talking law and other complications.
But yeah, he's a piece of shit.
I'm saying at its most basic form, like
he's a piece of shit.
Like even your example, a firefighter, right? You're saying that no matter how bad this fire is, they should run in there to try to help people.
Yeah,
because you're saying it's their job. Yeah. I don't agree, but.
What? You're bugged.
I think
you're telling me that if there's a firefighter outside and he knows, okay, this building's gonna come down in 2 seconds, he should just run in and try and just die because that's
extra variable. But okay, yeah.
No. You're just saying in any circumstance. I'm giving you a circumstance where I think you'll disagree with it. So then that should change your opinion.
No,
I think that
if you know
situation
sounds ridiculous.
No, it's not. If you know someone's in there and the burning house is about to come down. You fucking signed up. That's your job to save a life. You're going to be like, nah, I can't do my job now.
And you're saying no matter what, they should run in there, right?
If I was a firefighter, yeah, that'd be my job to save people's lives.
That part where you're saying no matter what, you're saying no matter what the circumstances are, they should run in. So now I'm adding a circumstance where I think you'll disagree with your own statements, where I'm saying that building's coming down in 1 second and they know it. You think they should still try to run in and save them even though they know they're going to die?
Yes. What if your son was in there? Would you want him to go in there?
If he didn't run in there, I would understand it. Because I wouldn't expect anybody to die for my kid.
What if the drilling crew in Armageddon had gotten up there and they didn't have the ability to remote detonate anymore, and they were like, you know what? I didn't sign up for dying for this mission, and they just came straight back to Earth.
Well, they made a decision. I mean, they had to draw straws and shit.
I mean, the circumstances are vastly different there because you're talking about the total annihilation of Earth. But if it was like a couple thousand people were gonna die, I'd be like, man, that really fucking sucks. It would have been cool if you saved those couple thousand people. But I'm like, damn, it's hard for me to say you should have ended your life in order to save others. Remember, spoilers, people. Major spoilers. All right, we're gonna. I don't know how we're gonna do this. I don't know how we should do this. But in The Last of Us, okay?
Oh my god!
No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. The TV show's going on. I shouldn't say nothing. All right. Let's just carry on. I don't think I don't know. I wouldn't expect anybody, if they know for a fact they're gonna die, I don't think that I'm gonna expect somebody to die for my kid.
Captain America said that we don't trade lives, and then that is exactly what they ended up having to do to save the world.
Yeah, he's full of shit. But it's good. It all makes sense. He's a walking contradiction, just like America is. So, like, exactly what he represents, you know?
Is what he
So it checks out. And at least it's a contradiction for the good. I'm just saying. Imagine somebody had to run into a room that's like, I don't know, if you breathe this air for like 1 second, you'll die next week. But it's like maybe it doesn't affect children it takes 5 minutes or something, right? Like I wouldn't expect anybody to run in there and die to save a kid. I wouldn't look at that person and go, "You're a piece of shit." Everybody got lives. That guy could have his own kids. He'd be sacrificing the livelihood of his children in order to save a child, which sucks. I don't want anybody to die. I just don't think I'm gonna put it on him that he has to save this person if he's a firefighter. And like, you know what I'm saying? He should run in there and breathe in the poisonous gas. Like, I don't know.
Does this question change if you have more skin in the game? You have a friend in there. You have a family member in there.
Of course it changes. Of course.
Yeah, if it's your own kid, I'm going to look at you as a parent a little different if you weren't willing to run in and sacrifice your life for your kid, right? It's still hard. I'm not going to say.
What if it was that same situation? You knew the building was going to come down in 2 seconds. However you knew this information.
Nah,
but
that kid is dead. Nah, he shouldn't run in there. What is that? What can he do? At least me. I mean, I just feel like if there's nothing you could do, you shouldn't do it. Like, if you know for a fact you're gonna run in there, die, maybe you have another kid. You're ruining your other kid's life by dying. What
is the risk percentage? Like, what risk percentage of death is it? Like, you know,
5% chance of dying.
Maybe this isn't worth it.
5% chance of living.
I don't know if I could put it in numbers, but if I have a feeling that I could save this kid, like my kid, right? I'm not gonna kill myself for another person's kid, unfortunately, for those people, but. If I could save my kid, I'm gonna do it. If it means I'm gonna die. If it means for a fact I'll die because when I push them out the door, boom, the building will collapse on me. I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
there's no reason I wouldn't 100%.
Do it. For your son, you would.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Any parent should. Any parent, or your daughter too.
And for my daughter.
Your kid, just kid general. Fuck.
I'd do it for my wife. I'd push my wife out the door and die. I'll do it. That's fine for you.
You gotta think. For me, you gotta think a little bit now.
She's half Puerto Rican. I know there are problems there. There's some concerns.
What's gonna happen is you're gonna try to push her out, and she's gonna say, "Why are you putting hands on me?
Why are you putting hands on me?" And then she'll hit me back, and then we'll both die. I'm like, the
kids. But to answer Doughboy's thing, back to the train thing, I would save only a person like who didn't voluntarily throw themselves in there. I'm not gonna risk myself for a fucking idiot who said, I want to die and throws himself in there. I'm not going to risk myself for that at all. But for old lady slips or a kid falls, yeah, I'll try. Be like, nah, come on, I'll help you out. But, because God, though, that dude that threw himself in there, you try to reach in and grab me, he pulls you in. Mírate. Mira. Te jodiste. You're done.
I mean, the circumstances matter too, though. Like, if the train is coming, I'm like, sorry, Jack. I'm not gonna sacrifice the livelihood of my kids for a rando. I'm just not gonna do it.
If the train is coming, I'm gonna do the lean over and like the hand out. If the train's not coming, I'll jump down there. Like I'd like to think that I would jump down there and help a person up.
You better hope you got them gym games though. Them gym
gotta
games,
jump
like,
back up.
That wall is tall, bro. Like,
That wall is
that
pretty
shit
tall.
look like it's like 3 feet. That shit is like 5 feet. That shit's up there. Like you gotta hop up, pull yourself up. Like people are gonna have to pull you out of there too. Like I don't know.
I think I've jumped a fence within the last like year or 2 years or so. I think I'm probably good.
But no, yeah. Other than like humans and shit, like I would watch out for it. Like even maybe some animals, but they're very depending. It's very low on the animal side. Like
I'm not an animal person. I don't think I would risk my life to save an animal.
Never.
Unfortunately,
Never,
I'm sorry to all our animal lovers out there. I don't think I'm risking my life to save an animal.
If I'm in the fucking elevator and the owner's not paying attention and the dog is still on the other side of the door, I'll pull that shit in. You know what I mean? Those circumstances, yeah. But a dog walking across the street, I ain't risking my life. A dog jumping in the train station, I ain't risking my life. Y'all fucking dicks, get out of here. That doesn't make
I'm not jumping on the tracks for a dog. Like it would like the train must have just left the station for me to do like the risk got to be so fucking low for something like that.
Same. I'm gonna help the person that's jumping down onto the tracks to bring the dog up. I'll help with that. But I'm not jumping down there myself for an animal unless it's completely clear, like 100%. I know I'm not gonna die to a train saving a dog or something.
Hell no.
I killed myself before I allowed myself to die on a train getting saved by a dog. I'll jump on the electricity just because how stupid I was.
Nigga, I'll sacrifice an animal to save a human, nigga. Put it like that. Fuck that shit. I ain't gonna fucking... Shit's bugged out. Dowie wants to be Mr. Save Animals over here. You want to die for a cat stuck in the train. You definitely do. That's crazy.
Doey's jumping on them tracks to save that
I'll
cat.
be tight at you, nigga. At your funeral, I'll slap you at your funeral, nigga. Do some pendejo, nigga.
Slap his
Slap that nigga.
Yeah, you didn't see that video of the guy? He's like, he got the selfie shit. He's like, yo, this guy right here, this guy was a bitch. Bah! He slaps the shit out of the. I think it was fake, but the shit is hilarious.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
That premise, that's what I'll do at Doey's funeral. If he died saving a cat. If he jumped on the tracks and died.
Nigga die for some pussy. Bah! Slap that with you. But nah, yeah, I wouldn't save animal at all. Bro.
Where are you storing up there, Doey? I see you wanting to jump on that mic.
No, it's okay. I had something to say. It just was so long ago. I forgot. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I mean there is some type of piece of shit you get for not trying to save somebody when you could, right? I mean, it's just like in New York, I could see it. I could see a lot of people really, because in New York's minding your business type people. So like somebody walking in front of a bus last second or something, I really see people there be like, yo, or not saying shit. I can see the not saying shit higher than trying to say.
I am very susceptible to beating myself up over things and guilt tripping myself and things like that. I think in any of these situations, I probably have to help this person, or I'm going to lose sleep about it for the rest of my life. Like it is not a thing that I'll be able to like easily move on with my life with if I don't give my best effort at least.
Yeah.
There's a phenomenon in New York where it happens so much. People throw themselves on the tracks, and then when they don't get run over and die, people are like really pissed. Like, get the fuck off the tracks!
That's because they're gonna fuck up their train.
Piece of shit! and then somebody always says it like, I wish this nigga died. Damn. There's always one when you know they're alive and they're perfectly fine. You start to, man, I wish this nigga died. It would be quicker than what we have to deal with now.
Because they're trying to get somewhere. These niggas is fucking up their time. That's crazy.
They store those bodies in the station for when they wait for the stores, like coroners to come. Sometimes in like trash bins.
That's
and
wild.
shit like that.
What?
They have to put them in break rooms. They have to put them in all sorts of places because you're in a train station, bro. They don't got a suicide room. They don't got a room for suicide bodies. Nigga, they be storing them shits in all sorts of stuff. It's fucked up.
They wouldn't just leave them on the
Not
tracks?
store. Like they temporarily place them there.
Because that service has to keep going.
No, I mean it makes sense. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know. You use the word store. It seems like they're there for like 3 days. That body's in that. They're closing down the subway bathroom.
Well, I'm
down
just
for
saying,
I've
you
never
just-
used a subway bathroom, by the way. I don't know.
I didn't know
I've never seen one.
I didn't know subways had bathrooms.
Yeah,
I've
they
never seen
closed them all down in like the 70s, 80s. But then like you have places you can go to the bathroom. Penn Station's bathroom, I went in there one time. I almost gagged. I was like dying. I could not breathe in. It's a lot of homeless people in there washing themselves.
I think the only subway
Rough.
bathroom I've ever been in was in the game Max Payne.
This man.
There's a lot of subway bathrooms in that game. The
Mhm.
Pursuit of Happiness, they have a scene where he goes into a subway bathroom. But I don't think he's in New York. I think he's in San Francisco. How about in the Warriors? Okay,
That's one
there's an epic fight scene in the bathroom
They closed it up because of the Warriors.
because of the
Because
Warriors.
of
They
that
saw how
movie.
Cochise put a chain around that guy's neck and then flung him over his shoulder. They were like, fatality. We can't have these shits in the New York subways. We gotta
Dude,
shut him
those-
down.
Those bathroom doors are made out of cardboard in that movie, dude. They're just
Yeah.
breaking everything in that bathroom.
I think I got karate chopped the fucking bathroom stall in half. What a good movie.
Nah, but
Pretty
People
solid.
sleeping on the Warriors.
so overall, you guys think that if you could, you should save that person from death.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
as the risk to your life increases, I think how much of you're a piece of shit decreases.
Decreases, yeah.
Yeah, I still think like if there's a shootout and you're a police officer, you signed up for this. Like there's some amount that I feel like yeah, absolutely, you should engage. You should do whatever you got to do to protect and serve the community, right?
Mhm.
But
What
like,
if
yeah.
somebody freezes up? Like
That
like
happens.
Hank. Remember when he
It
froze up?
happens.
Yeah.
People freeze up. It happens.
It does.
I would just think, all right, maybe you shouldn't be a police officer, and maybe somebody who wouldn't have freezed up should be. You know, and that's shit happens. You know, can't call someone a piece of shit for freezing. Like they probably got
that's
no
very
control
different.
over that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fear. There's a fear that hits you when you're in a situation like that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have ever been there yourselves or not, but there's 100% a fear that hits you whenever you're in a situation like that.
I can imagine. I've been in a fist fight before, and the adrenaline you feel in that situation is out of control. So, like,
Mhm.
I could only imagine being in like true life or death circumstances. Now, I've never been in something like that.
Well,
I got shot at one time. all right?
What?
Damn.
Yeah, I got shot at one time, and I didn't even feel it in the moment. It was only afterwards that I was like, "Yo, I'm a fucking idiot. I could have died and all this other stuff." But in that moment, I just saw a gun and I started running.
I've never been shot at. I've had guns aimed at me before. I've never been shot at, but we did have this. We used to do these big bonfires for like 4th of July and like New Year's Eve at my parents' house growing up, and we had this huge like 20-foot tall bonfire one time, right? And one of my uncles had tossed he had tossed some trash into this bonfire apparently, and he forgot that in his trash he had a bunch of 22 rounds that he had thought were duds. And he threw those into the fire, and those things started going off mid bonfire. And that's the closest I've ever come to like being shot at.
That's insane, bro.
Sorry,
That's
the point I
crazy.
lost the point though. The point I was trying to make was in that situation it happened so fast that I didn't have that feeling of like that like I don't know, like somebody who has to run into like a fire to save somebody gotta be their body must get them high. Like literally, you must get pumped with so much shit to get through this. Like I don't know. I didn't experience that. I was just saying that's the closest I've been to any type of situation like that, and I didn't even have those feelings.
What about so for the last one, because I experienced this and it kind of messed me up. In 2020 during the pandemic in June, it's like everybody was stuck at home. This guy I was at work, and this guy got on his balcony. He was gonna jump off of it on like the 24th floor of across the street. So I saw the crowd growing and everybody's watching him, and then the cops start coming. I start trying to help the cops direct them to the right building because they don't know where the fuck they're going. And homeboy jumps off like after about 10 or 15 minutes. It's like one of the worst things that I had to experience. But like whoever doesn't grab him or whoever doesn't save him, you think people carry that weight on them?
I think that we should help people that are having mental health crises. I think it's tough. I think it's a lot harder than people think it is to be there for people, even doing having an intervention or having conversations about putting people into a mental health hold to save their lives. But I think that it's something we should be willing to do for other people.
To answer that question, I would say no. I don't think they should feel like a person trying to commit suicide.
So you think they will feel? That's the question.
But he said should they feel remorse or feel some type of way of them not being able to help them? I'm saying no. Like if you tried to help them and save them, and they're trying to commit suicide, you literally tried your best. Like you shouldn't feel down on yourself. Should you feel pity for the man killing himself? Maybe, but I don't think you should hold that on you like you didn't do nothing to help out. You know what I mean?
think it's saying that if you didn't help, should you feel guilty, right?
Yeah.
Well, even like in any situation, it doesn't matter, viewer, spectator, you're the police there trying to calm him down.
Have you ever stood on the edge of a building?
Scary.
On a
I've
roof.
looked over,
Horrifying.
I've looked over the
terrifying.
edge of the building.
I
Yeah,
went
Oh
on
my
a rooftop.
god! One time, me and my friends
Scary.
went to a hotel and we were like drinking and stuff like that. Somebody had the bright idea to go up to the roof. This hotel was not equipped for people to be on the roof. We walked to like the edge of the roof,
no.
and there's just nothing. Like you could just one step away from death. It ain't like in New York City where you got the high walls and stuff like that. Like, and I was standing up there, and when I looked over the edge, I was like, "We're fucking idiots. Let's get the fuck off this thing. Like, somebody's gonna trip and fall, and we're gonna have to live with who the fuck's idea was it to come up on this goddamn roof."
You
But
feel that wind coming up?
My
it's
hands are
scary.
getting
So I don't
clammy.
blame anybody if somebody's on the ledge talking about jumping. Like, I mean, I'd go near it and try to yank them back, but like, I'm not standing next to them trying to get them. Like, I don't know. That's just me. Like, I'd try to chat them off. I'd maybe try to yank them, but
What
there's a couple feet I'm not encroaching on. Like,
What
I'm
if
good.
you're in one of these situations, you're holding on to them one arm,
Nah,
they're
not doing
dragging
that.
you down the building, you're gonna
It's
let
like-
go?
It's like
Yeah.
juice.
This is
Yeah.
why we're all on the fitness kick right now, dude. So we can drag someone back from the edge.
If he's holding me, I try to save him. He jumps off and holding me, and then I'm holding him. I'm not dying, bro.
Tony's gonna take out his gun. Dad! He's like, "You're going down. Fuck you."
I saved him the drop at least, right? He's already dead. I saved him the drop.
Damn.
I like the idea of Tony solving every problem in his life with his gun. He can't get the peanut butter jar open. He shoots the jar.
Yo, we should do an episode of that shit. What can I not do to save something or handle my problems with a gun? That should be fire.
He's out of toilet paper. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know what he's shooting in that situation. That's bad.
I'll take the magazine out, wipe my ass with the magazine, and load it back in and keep it on going.
The shit sliding back and forth on his ass, the gun when it fires.
How do we always go from something interesting to always lewd? We're now straight to the gun slide going in his ass crack. What are we talking about?
This is why we're the bad boys of podcasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck with us this far, please hit that subscribe button, the like, the follows, the shares. We got a Discord. Join us. Argue there for 10 days straight. That's what we want to see, the arguments.
I don't want that. Take that shit to the podcast, the comment section, all right? I don't need that.
Whoa. And also, yeah. Don't forget, comment, keep commenting. We love it. We love to watch it. We love to read it. We love to see the back and forths. You know what I mean? But as always, people, go one up yourselves.